Hello, I'm Christie McKearn from the Family Collective, and can we just talk for a minute about connecting with our neighbors in the middle of this pandemic? And I don't mean neighbor in terms of, can I borrow a cup of sugar, next door neighbor? That may be that too, but can I expand the definition to more of a Mr. Rogers neighborhood, won't you be my neighbor kind of neighbor? I'm talking the barista that serves your coffee, the people at the gym, the mom at the park, your coworker. So these are not people that are your innermost peeps, but they're the people that you see many times a week, maybe, or just one-off. But the world is starving for connection right now, especially in this pandemic. So I just want to talk for just a minute here about how we can be touch points of humanity in this sea of disconnectedness at the moment. And I think the biggest one, and I know this is going to scare my introvert friends here, is how many times do we think about a nice thing about a person, but we never say it because they're a stranger to us, we're busy, we got things to do. Years ago, I started to challenge myself to, whenever I thought a nice thing, so I wasn't trying to make anything up, but if something came to mind, even if it was a stranger, I was gonna say it to them. And it's been years now, and it was hard at first, but the outcomes, even if I'm intimidated at first, have been so dramatic that it kind of gets addicting. It's a lot of fun, actually. I was really intimidated recently to say something to my kid's pediatrician. She's just been overwhelmingly awesome, over the top, great personal care. And it was hard for me. I don't know, because she's a doctor. I don't know. But I finally mustered up the courage to tell her. And she literally put her head down and was like, you've no idea how much I needed to hear that. And that's just, one thing. I compliment people's shoes or hairstyles or their makeup is on point. It doesn't have to be deep or anything. But it's just, like I said, that touch points of connectedness. Another one too, if you know people, if you're comfortable doing this, I even do this to cashiers or baristas, or I'll just say, how are you doing today? Like, I'll look at their face, and wait for the answer, because some people just say it as a, like, how you doing? But they're not really waiting for an answer. And especially with wearing masks nowadays, we don't see people's expressions anymore. Like, that can be very hard and disconcerting at times. And so if you can use your words to voice that you genuinely are asking, how are you doing today? It's so simple, but most people are not asked that on a daily basis. I mean, most people are so used to everyone around them just going about their daily life. Maybe they have earpods in, maybe they're not even paying attention. And so it can make people feel like they're not seen or cared about, which isn't true. Most of us actually do care. We're just so lost in our thoughts and our to-do list, and our kids need this and that, or our boss needs this and that, and we're just kind of lost in the details of life that we don't see the person in front of us who really needs to be seen. And so I find there's a sowing and reaping principle at work here. I do this quite often, and so this tends to come back to me. People just checking in with me, or strangers giving me compliments, and it always seems to come just when I need it. So those little touch points of humanity are so huge, especially during a pandemic. I think it's probably the most Mr. Rogers, right? It's probably the most Mr. Rogers version of won't you be my neighbor, is to show how you genuinely care about a person, to stop in all the hustle and bustle, see the person in front of you, and somehow provide just a little bit of human connectedness. It may change their day, their week, their month. You never know. Anyway, have a great one.